Hello everyone, and welcome to the next part of our Tsukihime manga reading. Um, so I'm kind of dumb. I really thought that this was a 7 volume manga. It's 10. It's 10 volume. I literally thought this was the end today, but it's like it's super not. I think I used the word penultimate last time. That was a mistake. Um, huh. I don't know why. I swore it was 7. And I swore I looked that up, but then no, I looked it up now, and no, there's more. Which is like, really? I I feel like we were like really approaching the end, so color me curious as to see where this is going. So that said, let's all settle in, grab ourselves our book, and let us get started with what we're going to be reading. So, as you can see, that is her dress. And it's like, I look at that and my brain goes, right, that dress that we really didn't see in Tsukihime. Except we did. Because it was in the flashback, but like not in the present. So let's get going, man. I'm excited to see where this goes. Okay, so that is really zoomed in. Let me zoom out. Oh man, it's way bigger than it was before. That's fine. Happiness, gladness, pain. No more. Even though I know I cannot see Shiki ever again. And there's like fading of her memories there. Shiki. Oh, and she's thinking about him. Shiki. Huh. This feeling. Is this what it is? I like Shiki. Now, the term like, that's a tough one. Because the term like in English has a denotation and a connotation. I'd actually kind of want to know what the original Japanese is. Is it actually like ski? Like daisuki? I don't know. I don't know, because that would be very different depending on what we do. Whether demon or human, the feeling of loving someone is the same. Oh, that's cute. I like that. I like that idea. Oh, never mind. The feeling is not great. Oh, she's not having it. I have to get back. I can't let Shiki see me like this. Oh, she's having a rough one. I thought that if it was you, you'd be able to sense the magical flows that have been laid on this town. Oh, you mean like the um magical flows. You mean like ley lines. Never thought that you will not be able to do even that. Do you understand the state that you're in now? Shinso Arcueid Brunstud. Shinso? Shinso? Is that like the original Japanese for true ancestor? Because if so, why are you changing that now? Leave this city. It's such good art. Vampire. And to think that I told her to rest. Where could she have gone? Dang. Look at those claw marks. God, Shiki with the drip. Look at the turtleneck and the jacket combo. My man's dressed fine. Look at him. Hearing explosions off in the distance. Yelling out Arcueid's name. Tsu. Tsu? Why are you saying Tsu? Arcueid. Bam. Break that tree. Avoid that tree. Whoa, Arcueid getting blasted. Whoa. Big explosions. Arcueid getting... using her red arc projectiles. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, that was, like, kind of a joke, but no, that is literally her red arc, like, super. Sick. Sick. You love to see it. Kicking off the wall, deflecting all over. That's cool. That's cool. Spider-Manning around. It's cool because, like, I look at that and I'm like, yeah, you can kind of move like that with CL in the fighting game. That's awesome. Getting pushed back. Oh, he's not happy. Bringing out the knife. Where's the enemy? Looks up. It's Senpai. Why? She does a little spin and then boom, explosion. Dang, those are hitting with force. And dumpy. Dang, that's a dumpy. Oh, wow. And she casts like a lightning? Is that a bounded field? Again, 2. Why are you doing this, Senpai? Did she say that she would do something? Isn't Senpai's enemy Roa? Arcueid is hunting him as well. Senpai, there's no reason for you to attack her like this. There's a problem between the Shinso and me. Okay, so I'm guessing that Shinso is. Let me pull up a wiki thing. Let me see here. True ancestor. I'm googling it over to the side. True ancestor. The Japanese is Shinso. Yep. Okay. Just checking. I mean, it's just I feel like we had the romanization for it when this came out, but I guess not. Okay, well, please do not interfere. That doesn't look right, but it probably is. Interfere, I guess. Tono-kun. I will not allow a vampire to have her way inside a human settlement. Even so, there's no reason for you to do such a thing. She was the one who struck first while I was talking. I only gave her a warning before things got out of hand. What? Arcueid Brunstad has already reached her limits. I have to wonder, like, for that, like, is that supposed to be like the night sky or is that darkness? I can't tell. Either way, it's kind of pretty. It was funny. I was watching a thing about a guy who designs like fighting game stuff, and he showed like, hey, do you need to make a good cosmos? Go and take a picture of a wet driveway, and like you can color correct it into a beautiful cosmos. And that's what that reminds me of. Her limits. It won't come as a surprise if her vampiric impulses overcome her at any moment. She's already given in to her impulses before. Given in to her impulses? What are you saying? She will not drink blood. She, Arcueid, is afraid of blood. So she should be. Blood is, after all, the true ancestor's greatest forbidden fruit. I will not drink blood. Shiki. Oh, whoa, okay. Oh, he almost had like future sight there, like an instinct. What was that just now? Why would I ready my knife? Text reads kill. Yo, look at her. Yo. Whoa, she throws the knives. And then she's already hit and then grabbed. Doing a friggin' Rugal, like, wall slam. That is literally an Omega Rugal thing. Yo. Yo, that's good. Yo. That's his knife shaking. Kill. I wouldn't forget either. Your body's really cold, Shiki. Kill. Yo, kill her. Yo, this art. The gravity you can feel from it. Yo, that's so good. Oh my god, that's amazing. Oh my god, this art is so good. Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. That's so good. Just like the malevolence from it, but like the chaotic malevolence. Shut up, how can I kill her? Arcueid. Yeah, that's Red Ark's eyes for sure. I mean, you see them before, but like that's like, yeah. Dang. I can't do anything. I can't even move my finger. I'm scared. She's literally got it in her grasp. Whoa. What is that? What am I looking at? Is that just a representation of like the power of the true ancestor? The almost like beyond human comprehension, like, I hate to use the term, but like Lovecraftian view of this being beyond humans. She stopped. And then she got zapped with lightning. I will say I'm not a huge fan of the random lightning powers that some characters seem to have in this. I feel like there's better things you can do. Cause like, when is she used just regular random lightning? I mean, I guess it makes sense. The church magic and stuff. Yeah, sure, fine. Yeah, sure, she's making sigils. Sure, okay. Okay, what am I looking at here? What is she doing? Sorry. What is this light arrow? What is this arrow of light? It's kind of sick. Look at her determination. Why are you defending her? And she lets it fly straight up. What is this power? Yo, what is that power? That's rad. That's something that I would... Oh my god, I love that. What have I done, Arcueid? If you go around destroying your own kin, it doesn't change the fact that you two are vampire. I do not know for what reason you drew him close to you, but didn't you think something like this would happen sooner or later? What if it was... What was it you were trying to do just now? You were going to drink his blood. That is your true nature, Arcueid Brunstad. Normally, this is not something I would deal with, but I will not overlook you trying to kill an ordinary person. If need be, we can settle our score here. Don't be ridiculous. I have absolutely no intentions of having anything to do with you, and I never intended to kill Shiki at all. That doesn't sound convincing at all, true ancestor. What you tried to do earlier, that cry he gave out when he was facing you, do you have no knowledge of it? Oh, is the tss meant to be like a clicking of the tongue? I guess so. They do that sometimes, right? Okay. You may hate me if you want, but you directed those vicious eyes of yours at him. Shall we ask him how he felt when you did that? Leave vampire, you had no right to stay by his side from the very beginning. Literally saying, I'm best girl. Get out of here. What are you talking about, senpai? All that talk about rights and whatnot? There's no need for such things in the first place, is there? Doesn't matter if she's human or vampire. She did not drink my blood. And besides, didn't I say I was helping Arcueid out of my own free will? I feel that it's wrong for you, senpai, to try to shoot your mouth like that. Oh, dang, calling her out. Please be quiet, Tono-kun, even if there is no record of her taking a single victim in the past 800 years. And he's like, this is nothing to do with it. Knife out. If you ever try and get in Arcueid's way again, I will not hold back, even if it's you, senpai. Oh man, the determination in him. Wow. Shiki, Tono-kun, you. Understood. Since you said so yourself, I will not pursue this matter any further. However, it is as you heard, Arcueid Brunstad. Even so, do you still intend to stay by his side? Arcueid, can you move? Take this chance to escape. Aww. Arcueid? I'm sorry, Shiki. I like how she's like hurt, but then she just super jumps still. Why Arcueid? Wait, didn't you say take this chance to escape? Wait, take this chance to escape. I'm sorry, Shiki. And then she escapes. I feel like isn't that what you just asked? Okay. Arcueid. Alright, so yeah, this is where we saw the shadow thing there. This was in the original. I'll not allow you to chase after the true ancestor. What is this? Stop fooling around. If this keeps up, I'll lose her. Damn it, why Arcueid? Oh, and she's so sad, even though she got to do cool super moves. Yo, that's cool. The dream that the enchained white princess sees is... Yo, that's rad. Yo, that's cool. And the text is small again. Oh, it's changed again. Everything's changed. Why is it so different? Okay. The quality go down? Wait. Scan quality go down. Writing quality look to go up. Do you intend on chasing her? Even if you do see her, you will only be killed. From Senpai's point of view, she's an enemy, so you'll not believe her. But Arcueid will not drink blood. She is a good person. I know, she probably has not drunk human blood up to the present day, but... Senpai, what do you mean by Arcueid's limits? Tono-kun, those vampires that we call the Dead Apostles. More than half of them will become vampires because they had their blood drunk by a vampire. As time goes on, their body cannot help but degenerate. It is an imperfect form of immortality. Okay, so I see like 2 of the characters we know, and then I see a bunch we don't, which is, in order to live, in order to rebuild their bodies, they cannot help but drink human blood. For them, drinking blood is like having a meal. You can even say they have a lot in common with humans. But I was asking about Arcueid. Everything I've said is about her. Think about it. If the Dead Apostles only become vampires because they were blood drunk by another vampire, it stands to reason that there exists a being that was originally a vampire right from the very beginning. Without the need for human blood, an existence possessing a power that is equal to, no even greater than, that of the Dead Apostles, a completely different species from humans. Those are what we call the true ancestors. And she is the princess of the true ancestors. The princess. The princess, okay. Alright, okay. Yeah, that's fine. The princess, huh? Okay. I still don't see how any of this has to do with Arcueid. Of course it does, because those vampires that we call the true ancestors have an even deeper impulse to drink blood than the Dead Apostles. Gotta click. Why can't I click? There we go. A vampiric impulse. But didn't you say that the true ancestors do not need to drink blood? They can live without blood, yes. This could be a mistake that happened during their evolution, or it could be that there cannot exist a perfect being. Regardless, there will be a period of time where they will just feel like drinking the blood of humans. But the biggest problem is that their impulse to drink blood has absolutely no reason behind it whatsoever. No reason, right. Since it is no reason for it, it cannot be prevented. And the humans who had their blood drunk by a creature with overwhelmingly powerful life force of a true ancestor cannot be called a human any longer, so they become vampires. Because of this, the true ancestors live by always resisting their own vampiric impulse, but it isn't as simple as a matter of using one's willpower to endure it. They turn their enormous power on themselves, sealing away the vampiric impulse deep within them. But what happens if the true ancestor loses their power because of some external factor? Do you know what will happen? Let's say the true ancestor has 10 units of power, and that they usually keep 7 units to keep their vampiric impulse in check. However, they receive an injury that causes them to lose 5 units of power out of their 10. Is that an attitude of murderers to talk with? What happens when their power isn't enough? If her power isn't enough. And what was it that was stopping her? If they are unable to endure it any longer, the true ancestors become nothing more than vampires. And I heard that once a true ancestor tasted human blood, the urge becomes many times more painful than before. A true ancestor that's gone berserk becomes what we call demon lords. Oh, is that new? I feel like that's new. I feel like we weren't told. I don't feel like the term demon lord has appeared in anything I've read so far. The true ancestors may be a superior race, but because of their vampiric impulses, they'll never be able to release their full power. However, should a true ancestor fall, they will keep falling. Nothing more than a demon that drinks blood only for pleasure. What is happening there? I'm not sure what I'm looking at. Did he try to, like... Oh, was he going with the knife? And then she moves. I might also be missing a page. That happens sometimes. Don't tell me you intend to use something like that to fight an executor like myself. How arrogant. Oh man, calling her out. Oh. Knife's on the neck, and then she sighs. Seriously, whatever I'm gonna do with you, Oh, God, the switch. I've told you not to act recklessly countless of times. Sorry, but I felt like stopping you is the best course of action now. I'll understand if Tono-kun sees me as an enemy from now on. It's not something that can be helped. Anyway, you'll soon be able to move. But before that, please listen to some words I have to say. Here, take it. I don't really hate her. I was simply trying to scare her just a little. No, you were definitely serious. But I have my own reasons for restraining you like this. I hope that you would forgive me for doing so. Senpai? Oh, thank God we're back to senpai. I hate senpai. It's alright, I'm not angry. anymore. Besides, you've already saved me once before, so please don't apologize. We went from text boxes that were, like, filled up with one word to, like, text boxes that are, like, too small now. It's, like, a balancing act. Sorry, Shiki, and I have some things I want to ask you myself. Now, what is it we want to say, Senpai? Roa has started to move. Numerous enormous magical seals have been laid across this entire town. He's probably planning on preparing a place where he can challenge both the true ancestor and myself. Magical seal, won't that be troublesome? If that's the case, then all the more you shouldn't fight with Arcueid any longer. We have to act fast. Tono-kun. I don't know why, but there's a high probability that you are also one of Roa's targets. Now that he may have set his eyes on you, I cannot allow you to stay by the true ancestor's side helping her. You don't have to say it in such a roundabout fashion. I can't remember it, and neither can I recall it, but I did meet that bastard before when I was younger, on that hot summer day. I killed that guy. Though I don't know why he's still alive now. Senpai should know something about it, right? What you said isn't right. You were the one who was killed, and you were the one who was killed, and you were the one who lived. The one who killed lived, but the one who killed died. You were the one who was killed, and you were the one who lived. The one who killed lived, but the one who killed died. I feel like I'm reading a frickin' Professor Layton puzzle. There's so many better ways you could have written that. Oh my god, that is impossible to parse. If I didn't know the actual story, I'd be so confused. Tono-kun, a human living in the normal world has no need to come barging into our world. Go back to the world where you belong. I will take down Roa. That is all I wanted to say. From here on, I will leave the things up to you. Thank you, Senpai. Nevertheless, I still want to help her. Oh? Is that a double page? No, it's just big again. Okay, we're back to being big. Big pages. Okay. That has got to be a lie. Because I'm scared of drinking blood. I'm scared. She's scared. Because she knows when she starts drinking blood, she won't be able to stop. As a result, when their vampiric impulse overwhelms their ability to suppress it, the fallen true ancestors would be killed by their own kind. In other words, that's the lifespan for those without lifespan. Lifespan, is that the same for her as well? How can this be? Such a thing. If that's the case, then if Arcueid recovers from her wounds, if she regains the lost 5 units of her power, won't she be able to resist the vampiric impulse? It's because of me that she's as weak as she is now. But she did say that all she needs is some time for her body to heal itself. Then if she just rests and stops hunting vampires, if she has a chance to rest peacefully, won't she be able to recover? You might be right. For all you know, things might turn out the way. In that case, but it has been 800 years since we first knew of her existence. Even though she's only been active for a few years, the amount of time of her existence has not changed, Tono-kun. There's no limit to the vampiric impulse of the true ancestors, let alone curing it. The longer the true ancestors live, the greater the vampiric impulse within them get. That is what I said when she reached her limits. The vampiric impulse that she has sealed away all these years coming back. Arcueid Brunstad from the very beginning is beyond hope. Yo, that's scary font. Scary, scary font. But a cute picture of her on the wheel. Love it. Beyond hope. What the hell? Even though she's at her limit, she's still hunting vampires for our sake? The reason she hunts vampires is not for us, that is her purpose. The era when she was born, the 12th century, is the time when the demon lords and the dead apostles are at the most rampant. Because the true ancestors cannot leave the demon lords and the increasing numbers of dead apostles alone, they allowed something that's solely for killing, without the need for anything else. The purest of the true ancestors, their executor, to come into existence, and that is the true ancestor named Arcueid. That's a cat. And she's dead on a bunch of pallets. I have to kill the vampires. That is what that woman was talking about. A barrier set by Roa. Possible if this was to be activated, the life force of everyone in this town would be taken away. If Things really come down to that. Oh, she's surrounded by the dead. She's like a laser-guided nuclear warhead. The moment she's released from her castle, she would definitely destroy the vampire that is her target. Dang. She's a person. Talking about her like she's just a weapon is disgusting. No, she is a weapon. That's the reason for her existence. The true ancestors needed something that was superior above all others in terms of destructive ability. She did not have any unnecessary knowledge, nor the freedom to do anything other than what was necessary for her purpose. When her target has been determined, only then would she be released to go after it. She's only given the necessary information that is needed to definitely kill her enemy. Once she's done with the target, returns to the castle, all her knowledge is washed out, she's sent into a deep sleep, knowing nothing other than killing vampires. Again and again, repeatedly just killing vampires. That is why I thought I had done something wrong. It's the first time I've seen her talk like that. I always thought she didn't even know how to speak. Huh. Arcueid does not know how to speak? How's that possible? The true ancestors always treated her as nothing more than a weapon. Something like talking, something like baking bread. A weapon does not need things like that. If you're going to put extra functions on a weapon, it would be better to put something more fitting for a weapon, right? It's not often you're awake, it'd be a waste if you were asleep. Let's talk, Shiki. The simple joy of living. She probably never experienced anything like that. Man, this is really making me be like this is so much just like the best version of Arcueid's route. It's not. Her power was so great it defied imagination. But the ironic thing is that her fellow true ancestors shunned her because of her monstrous power. Even while praising her with the name of princess, not one person approached her. Even while giving her a whole castle, she only slept in the basement below. So I wouldn't know when the next time I'd wake up would be. At that time, the knowledge I had would be useless, right? But it does seem like a bit of a waste, doesn't it? Ooh, big page. Whoa, and so the true ancestor decided to give her a proper education, but because of a tiny mistake, she ended up killing all the true ancestors who were in the castle. In the end, the only one left was the battle princess of the true ancestors, sealing herself in the basement. In that empty castle, bound by 1,000 chains, she slept. However, whenever the vampire known as Roa is revived, she would awaken from her sleep and be active in the world for a short period of time. And that is why she's a killer down to her very core. Even though the true ancestors who bound her are gone, she still moves around with the sole purpose of killing vampires. She probably does not have other venues of interest, even though it will probably not have any meaning. Dang. I just have to say again, this is the best. People weren't kidding. The manga rivals at least the visual novel for its own story. Yeah, I cannot stress that enough. It's so good. It would definitely be something very interesting. Arcueid, Tono-kun? What is it? Were you listening to me? Sorry, I don't really understand it, though it sounds like something important, but it feels like there are a lot of things I don't know about. In other words, that's enough. Zoom out even more. It doesn't matter what Arcueid intends to do, nor what kind of person she was like. It doesn't matter at all. I'll be looking for her. Or you can't just leave her alone. I'll be looking for her. Tono-kun, once a true ancestor fails to control her vampiric impulse, there's no way they can continue to endure it. Even if she were to appear before you again, it only means that she's there to drink your blood. That's probably true for you, Senpai, but I beg to differ. She has never drank blood. No, if I hadn't stopped her, Tono-kun would have had his blood drank. That's wrong, because she stopped. She stopped even before you knocked her away, Senpai. Tono-kun, even if that's the case, you still intend to stand by our side? That's right. Sorry about that, Senpai. We may end up fighting, you know. Even so, I won't apologize. For Arcueid's sake, he hardens his heart. And small again. We're going back and forth. Did like every second chapter get translated by a different group? Questions and thoughts were considered unnecessary, and anything unnecessary was destroyed. The vampire continuously steps forward. Step forward. What is she doing? Destroy. Step forward, destroy. Oh my god. Okay, wow, this is the first time we're really seeing her power. She just slaughtered thousands of crusaders. Continuously moving forward and always destroying. A few tiny shards of information that were not memories. The more I walked, the more I discovered that it would not allow me to feel. I'm gonna have to I'm going to bury that beneath a mountain of interest. Why can't I read that for some reason? Though it shouldn't weigh on me, it pounds my body, but in the end it all goes to waste. So all that's left is blackness, blackness. Everything was black. Arcueid, are you felling okay? Are you felling okay? Shouldn't you be waking up? The sun has already risen. Aw, she's in her jammies. Didn't you say you wanted to eat my cooking? I went out to buy some stuff today. Hope you don't mind me using your kitchen. But are you right with just eating ramen? Ramen's fine. But I have a feeling you've been in a bad mood lately. Well, that's because you've been ignoring me lately, Shiki. Sorry to keep you waiting. It's done. Oh. Arcueid-sama. Oh, with a sama in there. I was bored, so I just fell asleep just like that. I say, are you just gonna let the noodles I cook go to waste? Then wake me up? What a whimsical Hime-sama. Okay, we went from no Oni-chan to a whimsical Hime-sama, which means princess. Well then, Hime-sama, how can your lowly servant awaken the slumbering princess? Well, a sleeping princess can, of course, be wakened by her prince's kiss. Oi! Oi! Now he's become a football fan. Where'd you learn that from? Seriously. Then, my beautiful and spelled princess, please awaken from your slumber. Arcueid. Nope, just kidding. She was in an alley. I was asleep? That was a dream. I only saw the insides of my eyelids whenever I went to sleep before. That's terrifying. That concept scares me. Being conscious of the insides of your eyelids all night? Bah, I'd rather die. That magic seal, Roa should be nearby. Find Roa and destroy him. That's what I should have done, right? From the very beginning, I should have done that. Not knowing anything other than killing vampires, she exists to repeat that one thing again and again. That idiot, her bodies are already like that, but she's forcing herself to chase after Roa. I have no way of looking for her other than finding the dead. Oh, and glasses are gone now, right? It hurts. Oh, he's starting to see the dots in inanimate objects. Wow, the line, Shiki, do not force yourself to see things you can't. That is something that is normally not possible. If you force yourself to see it, your brain might overload, and my eyes get stronger at a time like this. Suits me just fine, after all. Won't this make finding her a whole lot easier? Oh, wow, he's going into overdrive. I will not leave her alone again. Where are you, Arcueid? She's standing up there on a very small building. All things considered, that's like a very thin building. Hey, Shiki, the day where I first met you, do you remember? At that time, I really hated you. I knew I couldn't suppress my vampiric impulse any longer, so this is my last chance for me to defeat Roa, but I got killed by someone I don't even know. When I regained consciousness, I only knew hatred, and I kept waiting. Hurry up and come. By the time you will notice me, I'll rip you apart just like you did to me. That thought kept running through my mind. Seriously, I really hate you. But you know, no one has ever managed to kill me like that before, so I wondered about what kind of person you must be. As I thought about that, my hatred started to slip. I wanted to see you. I wanted to see just how the person who killed me was like. For the first time, I lost track of time. I lost track of myself, and I kept wondering. I wanted to go meet you right away, but I managed to keep that impulse in check. I was really excited, and I kept imagining what kind of person you must be like. At the time, I was really happy. Looking back on it, from that time already, Oh, goodbye. And now it's big again. Now it's real big. Okay. Oh, he is not having a good time with his eyes. Move, you pathetic body. Don't tell me this body can't do something like finding her. I've never hated this fragile body of mine this much before. Where can I look? I can't find a single one of the deads. Deads? Something that can draw her towards me. That can only be Very well, I'll bet everything on that one shot. The promise that I cannot break. If Arcueid thinks his promise is important too... The park. He goes to the park. But it's alright. If Tonoshiki still exists within her heart, I'll be right here. I'll fulfill our promise for tonight. I didn't realize anything. She was always so cheerful. Even simple things would make her overjoyed. I've always thought that was just the way she was. I was totally wrong. She was really just enjoying all those simple things. She must have enjoyed those things so much. Fun things, bitter things. All these unnecessary emotions are getting larger and larger. That must mean I'm broken, right? It's like an uneasiness she couldn't understand. The classroom filled with the red setting sun, where she asked me those questions in a reserved voice. If I'd only listened carefully at that time, really looked at her smiling face, I would have understood. I understood just how lonely she's been up till now. The everyday part of life we take for granted. To her, they were priceless moments of happiness. What is misery? It is not her. It is her not knowing just how miserable she is. How can there be such a laughably terrible solitude? Hey, guess what? Boom, we get basically the thesis statement of her route right here, right? The idea of someone who has no idea of the joys of the everyday life. Like, you know, we take it for granted. I don't care about the other things. I never realized what pleasure she took from doing those trivial things. All the parts of life that we take for granted. If I could let her know she could enjoy such things anytime she wanted, it'd be great. Waiting. Oh, my man's waiting and waiting. Shiki, what are you doing here? What am I doing here? My purpose is just to kill Roa, only that and nothing more. I really am broken. No, but thank you, Shiki. Aw, for waiting for me. If it's like this, I can... That's why it's enough. Hey, Arcueid. Calls out. He can sense her. What are you doing here? I thought you had already left. Didn't I say I would never break a promise with you again? I've not been of any help to you tonight at all. That's enough. You've done enough. I almost got you killed, Shiki. Don't worry about that. You're just tired, that's all. I'm an idiot. That's why I didn't realize your lies. You were not in pain because of your wounds, but because of your vampiric impulses, right? That woman. Since when did the members of the burial agency become so talkative? Senpai already told me all about it, so I'll just say it. There's nothing wrong with you. You might be in pain now, but you recover in a few days, right? You managed to hold yourself back then, didn't you? So there's no problem. We'll just continue on like we've always done till now. Shiki, you don't get it at all. It is useless at this point. Even now I want to drink your blood. But you only think that, right? Then just try your best to resist it. Isn't that how you lived up to until now? Yeah, but that is meaningless now. Killing vampires is the reason for my existence, but I've gone and done so many extra things. If I didn't know anything, I wouldn't have thought of wanting anything. I should have pursued the enemy by myself instead of relying on you, Shiki. You'd be alright alone? Get a hold of yourself, idiot. What's this pursuing the enemy by yourself? It isn't because you cannot do it alone. Isn't it because you realize that there are things you could not do alone? That's why you asked for my help, didn't you? So rely on me until the end. No matter what happens, I'll help you. Don't look at me like that. You finally realize just how much fun life can be. So don't say that it's enough. Shiki, are you crying? It's like, no, it's my eyes. They hurt so much. How can I be crying? It's because you're saying such stupid things, you idiot. Anyway, continue helping you. Once we beat the vampire, you'll be able to rest. Once we do that, everything's solved. There's no problem whatsoever. That's right, but it's too late for me. You said I managed to hold myself back before. The real reason I stopped was because you were afraid of me. All along, countless people called me a monster and hated me. So I don't feel anything when people hate or fear me, but it's really strange, you know? I really didn't want you to look at me like I was a monster, but no matter how you look at me, I'm a monster. That's why I stopped. I was scared of you looking at me like that. I would break if you looked at me like that again. God, the emotion in his eyes there. That's why I won't see you again, Shiki. Won't see me again. But don't worry, I will kill Rowan no matter what. I will destroy him even if I have to go down with him. The city will return to normal, so you don't have to worry anymore, Shiki. Won't see me. He grabs her and... Is it gonna happen? Is it Smoochie? That's not what I was worried about. Since you don't understand me unless I tell it to your face, I'll do that. Listen, the reason I agreed to help you isn't to protect the city I live in. I don't have any fine or noble ideas like that. I just like you. I wanted to help you, so I agreed to help you. How can I accept those words now? Smooch, 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 smooch. Oh, hug. Hug works too. So just pretend you never said them. She's being hugged. If you want to drink my blood, then just continue wanting it. It's alright. Shiki, it hurts. My arm hurts. Because we're the same. Because I've always wanted you. Even now, just hearing your heart beating is enough to drive me crazy. Aw, no, Shiki. That's just for right now. It's only a whim of yours. Even so, it's fine. Even so, it's fine. I love you right now, Arcueid. That's my truth. I don't care what happens later. Or do you hate me? No, that question, I can't answer that. Aw, the biggest hug. The biggest hug. Is he grabbing her booty? No, that's like down there. Oh no, that's her wrapping around him. That's adorable. Oh, seeing them in the park together in the night. Like, you just walk up to that and you'd be like, that's a lovey-dovey couple. Look at him. Look at him hugging. We might be getting too close, so... It's true that we might be too close. However, I think we're fine the way we are, but... Being by yourself all the time is lonely, isn't it? But for you to help me is to put yourself at great risk. Your body is cold. Even now we don't know when you'll fall over. Take more notice of yourself. It's alright. I'm still more than capable of protecting a girl. But what is it? I'm a vampire. My being together with you won't bring any benefits. It will! If we're together, I'll be able to see the one sight I treasure more than anything else. Your beautiful smile. Chad, 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 Chad. Isn't that good enough reason for you? What a Chad move. Holy crap. Smooth operator. I gotta say, Manga Shiki is so much more normal and good than visual novel Shiki. I would argue that visual novel Shiki is kind of a horrible person when you go deep into his thoughts, like to a point where he's almost unlikable. But nah, this Shiki is like, this is better. And from what I hear, all the characterization of Shiki after the original visual novel is closer to this, so that makes more sense. Just what do you think you're saying? It's ridiculous. A murderer and the girl he killed hugging each other. Yeah, I guess. You're trembling. Are you alright, Arcueid? Yes, it's just that I'm so happy. My emotions are bubbling up. Just what kind of expression do I have right now? Shiki, do you know? Well, how can I know if I don't look at you? But I'm sure it's the same expression I'm making. This is almost too adorable. Like, it's almost too much. It's almost too much. Yes, I'm sure it is. Shiki, if you're gonna protect me, can you not go back home tonight? Oh boy. Oh man, here they go. Oh, I wonder what they're gonna show. Dang, okay. That was a kiss, wasn't it? Yeah. Do not like things like that, Arcueid. My heart's pounding real fast, but this is troubling. Is this really okay? Because there aren't any vampires that kiss, are there? My girl, welcome to the Twilight franchise. He's going nuts. Oh, now this is different size again. Oh, you idiot. I give up. There's nothing I can do against this person. I love you, Arcueid. Oh, Shiki. Aww. 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 Oh, it's so cute. It's too... Okay. Alright. Gotta cover that up. I really do love her. Arcueid returned to my side, even though it might not be the same. Even though it might not be the same as my love for her, but Arcueid needs me too. Yeah, wow, they're railing, huh? Just enough is to send me over the moon. Not the fact that I am needed. But okay, we're good now. But the fact that Arcueid has always been alone up till now, for someone like her to need someone else, that alone makes me happy. Huh. I will never abandon you. From now on, let's do our best together, shall we? Now on, you'll never need to be alone again. Uh-oh, right, I remember this. What is it? Did I wake you up? Sorry, I touched your face without you knowing. Oh, wait, what? Why are we in the field? No, I must still be sleeping or something. Because of you, my body isn't doing what I tell it to. Huh. Huh. Is that so? I'm flattered, but this is still a little embarrassing. What is it? It's as if I'm still sleeping. Hey, Shiki, what are you being so formal for? You must be tired, so why don't you sleep till nighttime? We'd have to patrol tonight as well, right? Why is this art style's different? I guess so. Hey, let's say that I become a true vampire. What would you do, Shiki? Why still asking that now? Didn't you say you were afraid of drinking blood, Arcueid? Yes, that's why I said if. Stealing the lives of others for your own survival. That's something that happens all the time in nature, right? That's why it's just a question of what would happen if I become like that. Stop that. There's no possibility of that happening. Didn't I say I didn't like all the what ifs? Really, I like ifs, though. Not knowing how things turn out, yet having hope for the moment. That's right, you said something like that before. Yeah, that's why I was wondering what I would have done if Shiki was a horrible person. Arcueid. I love you, Shiki. You allowed me to feel this way. Just let me tell you so. You really are kind. Smooch on the head. So, tears would flow when you were feeling like this too, huh? Aw. Please forgive me for not being able to tell you this face to face. That's a really cool representation of that section. Arcueid and it was a dream. Hey, shoutouts to the fact that this author doesn't forget the scar in his chest when they draw him shirtless. It's on literally 0 CGs in Tsukihime. Arcueid. Oh, that's really sad. Just bye-bye. I'll have you take responsibility for killing me because Shiki's finally awake. Such awake if we just slept. Let's talk. I love you, Shiki. Allow me to feel this way and to let me tell you so. This is a good out of context panel, honestly. Just this shirtless guy screaming at 2 cokes on the table. Oh my god, the fact there's 2 of them. The fact there's 2 unopened pop bottles. That's brutal symbolism, actually. I spent the entire day searching for her in a maddened frenzy, but to know Advil? I think you mean to no avail. But that's a failed idiom. I know she will never... Couldn't find any Advil in the whole city. I know that she will never appear before me again, but I can't just give up. Yet another day passes by, no matter what. I gotta drag her out of whatever she's hiding and scold her for how stupid she is. Still no sign of Arcueid. She's nowhere near her usual hunts. Something desperately ends. She'll settle things here and disappear. No, she's probably already finished it. That's why she's telling me to just give up and go back. Telling me to forget everything and return to the normal everyday life that Shiki used to live. Even so, just a little bit more and I would have killed you, Shiki. Even if you hadn't drunk my blood, I would still die eventually. I know that all this might be useless, but other than searching for you, I can't think of anything else worth doing. Oh, and he feels it at the school. If everything's over, let's come here again, Shiki. Looking in here for Arcueid. Uh-oh, footstep. Uh-oh. Is that Honest Mids Michael? It is. It's Honest Mids Michael, but he's still white hair. The fact he's still white hair is so weird. The enemy Roa shows himself. Does black hair Roa never make an appearance in the manga? Because if so, it's very strange. It's a bit of a weird choice. And from what I'm aware, white hair Roa never shows up in the anime, so it's like, Huh. All right. Well, that's the end of that chapter then. Um, there was a lot of talking at the start for sure. There was honestly at the start probably what I would call a bit too much talking, where it just kept going and going and going. Especially some of the stuff with CL. It might be because I'm jumping between translations, but like it was a bit confusing. Like what was going on? I was just reading it, but like the actual action of what's going on, I was like, I don't even know. I'm just reading, right? But once we got past that, I was real good. I'm still shocked that there's just raw dogging in this manga, right? Like they just go to town on each other in ways that I wouldn't expect. Um, but otherwise, no. I'm really excited to continue this. We got 2 more volumes now, right? Because we got, well, no, 3. We got 8, 9, and 10. Dang, this is like the conclusion of Arcueid's route. So, like, what lies after? That's the question, right? Like, this is the end. This is normally where it all ends for him. So, we'll have to see. Thank you all for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time for Volume 8 of the Tsukihime manga. Ciao, guys.